And with Atiku's victory at the primary, the search for his running mate is in full swing. Names like Nyesom Wike, ADAMU Maina, and Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa have been mentioned possible contenders for the position. Earlier on the Arise interview, our political editor and anchor Somna Sambo spoke to Atiku's spokesman Paul Ibe for more on the PDP's possible vice presidential pick.
Atiku believes that if you cannot unite your party, I mean, on what basis are you talking about uniting the country? So he started with, with that. I think, of course, there will be a process. There is a process that is in place, to selecting a vice presidential candidate that will complement, add value to Atiku Abubakar. Somebody that will be able to be president in the absence of the, of Atiku Abubakar, if Nigerians give him the mandate, But that must not overshadow the much more critical, agenda that he has, which is about unity. He has to unite, the members of the party. There are governors, there are stakeholders, there are lawmakers who are, part of the, who are members of the party. And he has to, consult with them. And I believe that the process obviously is, has started, and until, the vice presidential candidate is, nominated, every other thing that you see out there are mere, speculations. And
permutations will continue because that's how politics is all about. Atiku Abubakar has always been insisting that he won the 2019 general election and that something was done somewhere in INEC. Earlier on we heard server until we went to court and that didn't happen. And he keeps insisting. Do you believe in the credibility of the electoral process and the electoral commission to deliver an election that will be accepted by all Nigerians and maybe favor you?
Atiku Abubakar is not claiming that, he won the election. The truth of the matter is that, that mandate was stolen. And it happened shortly before midnight of Saturday. We were tracking, the figures. Something went awry. The process was manipulated, However, we are confident that based on legislation that have been put in place, the electronic, transmission, and more importantly, Nigerians have become, more aware. And, this election is Nigerians versus the APC. It's not about Atiku Abubakar. Hungry people have been impoverished, people who are not safe. The question is, what do they want? I believe Nigerians want a better life, not the kind of, life that they are, having under this,
So you have implicit confidence in INEC and its national chairman, Professor.
More confidence
Mahmoud
in the
Yakubu.
ability of Nigerians to be able to defend, their votes. More confidence in that ability.
Well, joining us here in the studio is ADAMU MAINA WAZIRI, a Board of Trustees member of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Newsnight. We will come to the issue of Atiku's search for vice presidential candidate that will be acceptable to all. But let's start with Iyorchia Ayu, the chairman of the PDP, who seems to have become the chief campaigner of Atiku. He, of course, referred to Tambuwal as the hero of the PDP convention. Of course, everyone knows that he stepped down and, gave in to Atiku's emergence. But some say the emergence of Atiku may further expand the fault lines within Nigeria. What's your response to that?
Well, thank you, Ngozi. I want to reiterate what I said in this studio. The news media, electronic news media of Nigeria, Arise Inclusive, seem to be on a mission of deepening the divisions in this country. They are very, very undemocratic. Because you see, it behoves on all Nigerians to support democracy and uphold the tenets of democracy. The PDP, against the wishes of the pundits, conducted a very free, fair, credible convention that was rancor-free, that was transparent, that produced a candidate, a battle-tested candidate. I thought this should be applauded by all Nigerians, because we have no alternative to leadership emergence than democracy.
Right.
We must insist on the news media to help the political class in this quest for the entrenchment of democracy in Nigeria. How can the emergence of Atiku, whose one of his cardinal principles is to unite Nigeria, having seen the divisions of the current administration deepen any fault line?
Do you honestly, in all sincerity, yes, you say that the media has a role to play, absolutely, and that's why we're here. But with a northern or a northerner being president for 8 years, and then another northerner takes over for another 4 years or 8 years, how morally right is that within the context of Nigeria, and considering what seems to be the general mood of the country, that power should shift from one side of the country to another?
Again, here we go. Let me again reiterate. The diction you use is wrong. You are saying a northerner has ruled, another northerner is taking over. It's not a military coup. An individual, a Nigerian, from a part of the country, has submitted himself to democratic practice and process and got elected to be his running mate, to be his candidate. And he's going to go through another democratic process to be elected. At the end of the exercise, it is not taking over. It's Nigerians electing who they feel should lead the country in PDP. The alternative platform is there for the emergence of another Nigerian from any part of the country,
regardless of where
to contest the election. And Nigerians should be allowed to choose their leaders.
Great.
And wait. And
very quickly,
this issue of negativism being infused into the democratic process is not healthy for the country.
well, I must say congratulations are in order for the conduct of your presidential primary, but it is not Uhuru. We had your candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, talk about reconciliation. And that brings me to my question to you. How do you intend to balance power? Because even your party constitution calls for a reflection of national character and rotation of power. You have your chairman, Iyochayu, from the north. You also have Atiku Abubakar from the north. How do you intend to balance power when it comes to picking the running mate? What is the PDP looking at?
Well, I want to assure you that small me and big Atiku, we are working towards producing the next president of Nigeria, a man of PDP extraction. And now we have the first step. We have a candidate. And the choice of the vice president, the person, his faith, his territorial representation, and the demographic consideration is aimed to enhance the capability of the party to win the election. We have another party that has been postponing the process we have gone through successfully. And they are the party in power. The PDP, we said, our zoning starts this time around with the presidential candidate. It is inconceivable for the PDP or for any Nigerian to expect that the vice presidential candidate should come from the northwest zone. Is it possible? It's not possible.
With,
So what you're saying,
with politicians in Nigeria, anything is possible in Nigeria. Anything can happen. So where exactly in the south are you looking at? The south, we have Governor Wike, who came second in the contest. We have names that have been mentioned. We also have candidates from the southeast. So where exactly is the PDP looking at? The southwest, the southeast, or the south?
The manifestation of the zoning as enshrined in the constitution of the PDP is between the north and the south. If the president comes now as it is from the north, the vice president will come from the south. That's one.
Right.
The micro zoning that you people seem to confuse with the regional zoning as enshrined in the constitution is an internal affair of the 3 micro zones in the south. They will have to sit down, speak among themselves, and start the process of getting somebody from the south of this country to complement the presidential candidate from the north.
And the question
so that we have a winning team.
The question is
that will go to the 2023 election.
Which part of the south? Nigerians want to know that. Don't they have a right to know whether it's the northerners or southerners? Which part of the south
the
really
Nigerians,
are we talking about?
The Nigerians,
Has that consultation
the Nigerians
started?
have a right and they will know. They don't have to know within 24 hours after the presentation of the certificate of return. It is a process. It's not an individual opinion. It's going to be a broad-based consultative effort.
Right, but what is the preponderance of opinion within the PDP right now?
I'm not taking that census, my dear Ngozi.
You're not.
I am not.
Okay, so what are the criteria? Who would be the winning? Because your party seems to talk about winning first, then zoning later. What is the criteria for that running mate? Are you looking at popularity? Are you looking at the person's structure? Are you looking at his pocket or her pocket? Are you looking at micro zoning? What exactly are you looking at as a party?
At this one?
Yes.
Please, start from the known before you go to the unknown.
What is the known right now?
The known is we have a candidate, Atiku Abubakar, from the north.
That is settled.
Listen, I'll take you through the process. We have a candidate in the person of Atiku Abubakar from the north, a Muslim. All right?
Yes.
The vice president must be a southerner and a Christian.
Okay.
That is the known. When you go into the realm of the unknown, I'm telling you, consultations are ongoing. I'm not part of the consultation, but I'm experienced enough to know that there must be consultations. No one person can choose the vice president, not even the presidential candidate. He has to consult because we want to put together a team that will appeal to the sensibilities of Nigerians to elect that team to occupy the highest office in the country.
So you believe sensibilities do matter in the choice of who emerges the vice presidential candidates?
Surely.
Thank you very much. We'll have to leave it there. ADAMU MAINA WAZIRI, member Board of Trustees of the PDP.
Thank you for being
joining us.